Okay, so hey there guys, today's video is going to be another reading vlog, and we are going to be reading thrillers in this vlog. We're going to be reading all new 2026 release thrillers in this vlog. I was about to say in this book. I'm so tired, so tired. I've been working every single day this week. Haven't really had much of a social life after, what was it? Thursday. I went out with my best friend and I've just been working because my last day at my job is Thursday night because they're letting mostly all the seasonal people go. I'm actually really, really sad about it. But right now I'm too fucking exhausted and I want to just talk about these books that I'm going to be reading. So I already started one of them and we are going to, because it came out today. Two of them came out today. The other one comes out next week. So we're going to be reading 3 thrillers in this vlog, and I honestly feel like I am so happy that these new thrillers came out over the past week or so. I mean, like I said, it just came out today. Why is that so freaking blurry? I think it's supposed to be blurry on purpose. Okay. Anyway, so usually thrillers come out in January or February. That's usually like the thriller release time. Romances is usually like April or May to June. Actually like April to July, because like most of the summer romances come out like June and July. And then like a lot of big fantasy releases come out in like November, December. So as of right now, there are 3 thrillers that we're going to be reading in this vlog. I usually always do 3. The first one, like I said, I'm already reading. I started it this morning, and that is Dead in the Water by John Marrs. This is my 3rd book by John Marrs. I'll tell you guys the first 2 books that I read by him in just a second. I just want to talk about the other 2 books that we're going to be reading in this video. Then the second one, again, also came out today, and I'm so excited for this one. I'm waiting for it in Book of the Month, though, because it got delayed because I was going to try and read this. I probably wouldn't have been able to read it until today anyway, because I was trying to read more of my TBR. I mean, these books are both on my TBR, and so is the 3rd one. So I'm still sticking to my TBR reading these 3 books. This one got delayed with Book of the Month because they had it available before today, and that's the whole reason why I got Book of the Month this month, because I haven't gotten it in like 3 months. But then they emailed me like the next day when it was supposed to come, because it said it got delayed till January 13th. And then they emailed me January 14th telling me that my box wasn't going to come until the 23rd. It's now January 20th, and this is the day that the book came out. So at least I'll have the book with Book of the Month, so I don't have to like get it from the library or try to pay for it any other way. So I'm going to read it physically. But the other 2 are available in Kindle Unlimited. So anyway, this one is Alice Feeney's My Husband's Wife. I'm so excited about this one. I've been seeing nothing but amazing reviews about this book from like ARC readers and stuff. This is also my 3rd book by Alice Feeney. I'm so excited to read this one, and I'll tell you guys which ones that I've read from her in just a second. And then the last book that I'm going to be reading in this video, I almost wasn't sure if I was going to read this just because this author, I've read the most books by Freida Mcfadden besides Sarah J. Maas and Tara Mafi. Freida is probably my 3rd most read author. She is my most read author besides Sarah J. Maas and Tara Mafi. And that is Dear Debbie by Freida Mcfadden. This one comes out next Tuesday, the 27th, so I have a few more days before I get to read this. I think I've read over 10 books by Freida at this point. I think I really want to do like some kind of ranking video, but I have only been reading like her new releases lately. Last year I only read her new releases. I didn't read any of her other books because, like, again, I feel like Frieda's the one who puts me in a thriller slump because I'm not really like reaching for that many thrillers throughout the year anymore. I think last year was the least amount of thrillers I ever read in one year, because I read a lot when my first full reading year was 2024, because I didn't start, like I said, I didn't start avidly reading until November of 2023. And now it's January 2026, so I've only had 2 full years of obsessively reading, and I've read over 10 of her books. So, yeah, this one I'm going to read as the third book in this video because obviously it's not out yet. So, let's talk about the book that I'm reading right now, which is John Mars's Den in the Water. I don't have to bring up the covers again. I already brought them up. So like I said, this is the third book that I'm reading by John Mars. I've read What Lies Between Us, and I've read Who Killed You First, or Who Killed Me First. Is that what it's called? I think it's Who Killed Me First. That was his new release last March. This is his newest release that just came out today, like I said. And like I said, this is available on Kindle Unlimited. And what I love about John Mars's books on Kindle Unlimited is that he always includes the audiobook. So you don't even have to pay for the audiobook. It comes with the Kindle with the ebook, which is awesome. So I don't have to worry about like getting it anywhere else. And his audiobooks are always amazing. I love the voices in them because, you know, they're British. Like British thriller authors have become like my favorite thriller authors. Like I love John Mars's books. I really would like to read more of them, but I've only been able to read 2 before this. I know there's like a certain reading order that you're supposed to read his books in. I'm just picking them up whenever I can. But he's already thrown back to 2 of his books in this new release. He's thrown back to What Lies Between Us and The Good Samaritan, because I think The Good Samaritan came out a couple of years ago, but I think it got republished, and that like comes out later in the year. And they already have like a prologue for The Good Samaritan at the end of this book. But I'm pretty sure it was republished. The Good Samaritan, yeah. This one came out in 2018, so it's being republished. So anyway, let's tell you the concept of this book. So basically, this book is about Damon, and so far, the concept is pretty wild. So far, when I first started this, I thought it was a little bit slow. And then as soon as I started reading it on my Kindle, because I listened to like a few chapters of the audiobook this morning, because that's how I usually start a book, as I start listening to it. And then when I can actually sit down and read it, then that's when I can really get into it. And then it got me hooked as soon as I started reading it. And basically this is about Damon. And he thinks that he is tied to this young boy's death. It's kind of similar to like Broadchurch, all except like he cannot remember a single thing about this boy. He keeps on having these hallucinations, and he keeps on seeing this boy wherever he goes. And he's trying to basically figure out why he's seeing this boy everywhere, and he thinks that he is attached or involved in this boy's death. So he tries to get the help of this woman named Melissa, which Melissa just so happens to be his ex-girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure if it's ex-girlfriend or wife, but basically they were in a relationship before. She left him for a woman, and now the 2 women are trying to have a baby together, and they want his sperm to be the sperm donor for their baby. But he's kind of getting a little, like, it's already a wild plot, right? So he is kind of going a little bit crazy, though, because he keeps on seeing this boy everywhere. And then he is now seeing hallucinations of his dead mother as well. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because I don't want to give any more away. But he thinks that this boy was drowned. And he's trying to, he just can't remember how he's involved or what happened. So maybe he was unconscious at some point. Who knows? He keeps on like trying to uncover what happened with a hypnotist, and then like I think a regular therapist. I don't remember if he sees a regular therapist or like one of his other one of the other characters that say in this book. I believe her name is Helena. She's like his foster mother says to him, like, you know, trauma can always be suppressed by the brain. If you experience trauma at a young age, you might not remember things the way that they happened. So he sees this hypnotist, and the hypnotist says like the same thing. He kind of gets a little bit more once he's put under. Like, he finds out at least one thing. I'm not going to say what because, again, I don't want to spoil it. So that helps him uncover more things. So that's basically where we're at right now. There's something else going on, though, that was literally wild. And now someone just got killed that literally just like flipped the whole story on its head. And now I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck are they gonna do? They just killed somebody. And I'm like, I'm trying not to say anything, but it's so good. Like, oh, the way he like builds on his plots is so good. Like, it keeps me on the edge of my seat, and that's what I want from a thriller. Is like Freida just like does so much build up, and it's like fucking ridiculous, and it just ends up being like no conclusion. Like, my jaw was on the fucking floor when this murder just happened. And now I'm like, oh my God, like, what the fuck are they gonna do to clear their name? And now they're gonna go even crazier. Oh my God, it's gonna get so good. I'm so excited. So right now I'm on page 172 and I'm 46%, can I speak? 46% of the way in on chapter 49. And so far it's freaking wild. I'm so excited to read more. I'm probably just gonna listen to more of the audiobook right now. Probably just get like 50% in and I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I was hoping to finish it tonight, but I'm probably just gonna watch YouTube videos or do something different in bed because I am so tired. Like, since I've been working every day until my last day, it's draining. I'm very tired. So anyway, that's the first one. And then we have The Husband's Wife, My Husband's Wife. This freaking synopsis is so freaking nuts. But I've read 2 books by Miss Alice Feeney. And now she's, even more popular than before because now her new show on Netflix is called His and Hers. And I really want to read that book next by Alice Feeney because I really want to watch the show. Because everybody's talking about the show right now. So I'm like, okay, I guess I need to read that. Because I just read Heated Rivalry and I just finished that last week. I haven't watched any shows myself the past couple of days just because I haven't really felt like it. I've just been watching YouTube at night. Like, sometimes I go through a little bit of a show slump and I just don't want to watch anything. I just want to watch YouTube because, like, I haven't really been in the mood to watch anything because I'm just going to be so depressed after my job ends because now I have to find a new job. So, it'll be great. So, anyway, I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney and what was the other one? Beautiful, Ugly. Oh my God, I loved Beautiful, Ugly. Oh, initially, I didn't give it a 5-star, but literally that thriller, that book never left my mind the entire year of 2025. I'm like, I have to give it a 5-star. It was so fucking mind-blowingly good. And then for this book, I got the audiobook with Audible, with my Audible credit. So I didn't have to worry about getting it from the library. I hadn't used my Audible credit yet. I was like, I might as well use it towards this. Because everyone says the audiobook is amazing too. So I absolutely was obsessed with the audiobook for Beautiful Ugly. So I'm so excited to read this one. I'm not going to read the synopsis until I start reading it. And then basically, like I said, with Dear Debbie, like I said, this is now like my 11th or 12th book by Miss Freida Mcfadden. I think I wrote down most of the ones I read from her. I could go through them really quick. So I've read I've read all of the Housemaid series, so that's 4 books. I've read The Intruder, The Crash, The Tenant, which were all mediocre. Those were all her new releases last year. I've read Do Not Disturb, Never Lie, of course. That's still my favorite Freida Mcfadden book. I love that book. One by One, which was a good one too. I think this is my 11th book then. I think those are the 10 books I've read from her. I know I wrote them down. I think I've read exactly 10 of her books. Because they're just so bingeable. I wrote them down a while ago. Why don't I just type in Freida? All the Freida Mcfadden books I've read. Oh, The Boyfriend and The Teacher. Okay, so I think this is my 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 15th book. 10, 11. Yeah, this is my 15th book. Or am I lying? The Intruder. I might be tripping. The Housemaid's Secret, The Housemaid is Watching. The Housemaid's Wedding, I read that too. Housemaid's Wedding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 books. Why do I feel like I've read another one too? Maybe this is my 14th book by Miss Freida. I'll figure it out in a minute. But anyway, we're going to read Dear Debbie. I'm not going to talk about the plot yet either, but it's also available on Kindle Unlimited because all her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. And that kind of makes it easier to read her books. I probably should have gotten this one with my Audible credit, but I can just use the Kindle listening assisted reader thing to listen to this one because we'll see how it is, because I don't know if this one I'm going to like or I'm not going to like, because I never know with Freida Mcfadden at this point. Because like I said, she's very hit and miss for me now. So yeah, I will check in with you guys when I'm further into Dead in the Water, because I'm going to go because I'm tired. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So we finished Dead in the Water by John Mars. I couldn't not finish this book tonight. I read quite a few chapters and then I just finished the audiobook. I had like 45 minutes left in the audiobook, so I just finished it. And I think I'm going to give this a 4.5 stars. It was almost close to a 5-star. I haven't had a 5-star yet from John Mars. But also with me with thrillers, it's a little hard to have a 5-star. Like I said, last year I only had 2. I didn't say this yet. And that was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney and Billy Summers by Stephen King, because that book was brilliant. That was actually a 6-star read. But those were my only 2 5-star thrillers last year. I really didn't think I was even going to find one last year. And then I changed my rating for Beautiful Ugly, and then Billy Summers was the one to top them all anyway. So, it might take me quite a bit to find a 5-star. I'm getting 5-star predictions about my husband's wife, though. But the reason why I'm giving this a 4.5 is because I might almost give it a 4.75. To be honest, I might round it up to a 5-star. The way that he turns Dead in the Water, the title, completely on its head, that it doesn't even mean what you thought it meant, is crazy. Because at first you thought it was about a boy drowning. It is literally not even fucking close to that. I'm going to say that right now. He turns the entire plot on its head. And that was crazy, but in such a good fucking way. My jaw was on the floor constantly. I cried a little bit because there was something that really sad happened in the book. But also, like, everything that unraveled in, like, parts 3 and 4 were totally insane. And I just love the way that he writes his unhinged characters, because he writes them in a way, I don't know how he does this, where, like, you care about every single character. No matter, like, even though it's, like, fiction and they do, like, these fucked up things, because they do some seriously fucked up things, you still care about why they did it. And that's, like, one of, like, the things about thriller authors that, like, some of them don't really come across, and that's why it's, like, harder to connect with their books, or, like, because, again, I have to really feel for the characters. Like, I feel like as I've read more books, I feel like I have to really connect with the characters, or I'm not really gonna like there might be like a story that I like, but very rarely I don't like the characters to not like the story. I mean, the story could be really strong, but if I don't like the characters, it's gonna lower my rating more. Like with Deep Cuts or Voyage of the Damned, I really didn't like any of the characters in either of those books. And that vlog will be up before this one because I'm doing I did a vlog of books that have been in my TBR for quite a while, episode 1. And I share my thoughts about both of those books, but, well, not Deep Cuts. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know how he does it. That was a complete mind fuck. Again, my jaw was on the floor for like 99% of the parts 3 and 4. It was so good. I'm a little bit exhausted from all the like. It was a little bit exhausting with all the twists, but you know, the twist just kept on twisting and the unhingedness kept on unhinging, and I was totally here for it. Um, I can't really say much more because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm really tired. I don't think I'm going to go into My Husband's Wife just yet. I think I have a little bit of thriller fatigue right now. Even though this is the first thriller I read this year, I am having a tiny bit of thriller fatigue right now because that book was crazy. Not just because it's 2:45 in the morning and I'm really tired anyway. I mean, it's probably the main reason. Um, but seriously, wow. Just so good. So my rating right now would be like a 4.5 to 4.75. The only two reasons why I'm not giving it a 5 stars is because one, holy shit, that was a lot of twists and turns. I mean, but I loved it. I loved every single twist and turn. It was just a little hard for me to follow exactly. But all of it did come together in the end. And the second was, why did this character kill the first person in the first death? Like, it didn't really have a connection to, like, why they killed him. Maybe it's just because the character, you know, gets a rush out of killing people. But, like, there's so many, like, similar people to, like, this character in the book. I'm like, is everybody this unhinged in this book? Like, it's crazy, like, how similar some of the other characters were to, like, the character that's being discussed. So, yeah, I really liked it. Again, a 4.5 to a 4.75. Might be a 4.65. You know what? It's going to be a 4.65. I've decided. I do kind of half ratings in between 4.5 and 4.75 sometimes. So I think I'm giving it a 4.65. Still a really high rating. I still really loved it. Really enjoyed it. So yeah. I will check in with you guys when I start My Husband's Wife. I think I'm going to finish on Wings of Blood. I can never say the damn title. Because I started that a couple of days ago and I'm really, really liking it a lot. So I think I want to finish that first so that I can start the second book after possibly My Husband's Wife or after I read Dear Debbie. I might just switch off again between fantasy and thriller right now. And I'm having a great time. So that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I just woke up. I look so good. So I wanted to let you guys know that I started the second book that I wanted to read in this video, and that is Alice Feeney's My Husband's Wife. I started the audiobook last night, and I listened to quite a few chapters this morning. I still don't have the physical book with me yet. I don't get the physical book until tomorrow, so I'm just gonna read that tomorrow. I'm gonna read more on Wings of Blood today. And then probably listen to this some more tomorrow morning. So my friend's coming tomorrow. We're gonna go book shopping, kind of. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy any books though. I just want to take her to the Barnes & Noble here. But anyway, so I started this, and the concept of this book is pretty wild. So it's about a woman named Eden, And basically, she goes out on a run one day. They had just moved to, like, a new area, like, her and her husband. And she goes out on a run like she does, like, every morning to, like, clear her head. And she comes back to her house, puts the key in the door. And for some reason, the key doesn't fit in the door because the locks have been changed to their house. And this is all in the synopsis, by the way. And she tries to open the door. Obviously, she can't get in. And then all of a sudden, this woman that looks just like her opens the door and says, "Who are you?" And then she's like, "I live here. What are you doing here?" And she's like, "I don't live here." "Wait, you don't live here. I do." And then her husband, her so-called husband, comes to the door and he says, "I don't know you. Get out. Leave this place." So now she's trying to figure out why the fuck her husband is acting like he doesn't know her. And we're kind of getting bits and pieces of, like, her past, and for some reason she's estranged from her grandmother because her mother doesn't talk to her, so therefore her Eden doesn't know her grandmother. And the police have been involved now. Because there's, like, this one night where Eden's supposed to have, like, this opening at her art gallery because apparently she's, like, a painter. But also she has, like, another job too, but I'm not going to talk about it yet because I don't know if that's a spoiler to know, more about her past. But she tries to show up to this art gallery opening, and the woman that's claiming to be her is the one that's doing the opening. And she's like, "What the fuck? Like, this is my opening." And she didn't say anything, but, like, she tries to, like, get in and, like, start talking and say, like, "What the fuck?" And then, like, another police officer, like, grabs her and says, "I think it's time to go." So she's still trying to, like, figure out what the fuck is going on. And that's where we're at right now. So far the concept is a little wild. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Beautiful Ugly. Because in Beautiful Ugly, Beautiful Ugly actually was really similar to Dead in the Water. And, like, Beautiful Ugly was, like, the combination of these two books. Because in Beautiful Ugly, the main character kept on seeing his dead wife. And then he finds someone that's, like, similar. If you haven't read the book by now, I'm sorry, but it came out a year ago, so I'm going to spoil it a little bit. He finds a woman that he thinks that, that he's had some involvement in killing his wife. Oh my god, the book is so fucking good. I still think that audiobook is pure perfection. I really like this audiobook too, but the narrator's voice is just annoying me a little bit. Because the male voice in Beautiful Ugly, I just fucking loved him. And the audiobook for that was like my favorite audiobook that I listened to last year besides the favorites and Carrie Soto is Back. All those audiobooks were so fucking good. Oh, they were all so good. But anyway, in my Beautiful Ugly, and that's still my favorite thriller that I read last year besides Billy Summers. He meets a woman that's claiming to be his wife. But in this one, we're kind of getting the same thing where this woman is claiming to be her husband's wife. That's why it's called My Husband's Wife. And now we'll see how much things come together and unfold, and I will let you guys know when I get further into the book. Because I haven't received the physical copy yet. It doesn't come until tomorrow. I'm still mad that I even, like, ordered it. I could have just gotten it from the library. And then Rings of Fate was literally on Kindle Unlimited. But I don't think I'm going to start reading that until I finish On Wings and Blood and Dear Debbie and then, like, the second book. in On Wings and Blood, because I'm having a really good time with that series so far. Then I'm probably going to end the month with Rings of Fate and then like one other fantasy book that's on my list, but depends on if we get to them, because I'm really in, like I said, like a big thriller mood since I'm going to be unemployed by tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Hey guys, so I just finished My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney this morning. Well, I finished it like an hour ago. And y'all, I'm still confused by this book. And I'm still confused by the ending. I'm giving this... I think I'm giving this a 4.25 stars. I don't think it's quite a 4.5. Because I really liked it. I was very intrigued. And I was very entertained. But I have a lot of issues with the last probably 15% of this book. I think that one character's plot line was introduced a little bit too late. Like, we knew who they were, but like we didn't really get their perspective until like almost 80% into the book. And I feel like that was a little bit too late to explore it. But also, like, there were some things that were introduced in this book and never really resolved. I kind of feel like this book should have been like a 10 more page long epilogue. And then we could have gotten like a lot more things explained. I still really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Wow, these stink. Sorry. I put these on from outside and I did wear them yesterday, but not for too long. I need to put on different ones. I just didn't really get the ending that much. I literally went back to listen to the ending a good maybe like 5 times, and I still didn't understand it. Because I'm still trying to understand why this whole plan was like initiated in the first place. I think I understand I have a pretty good idea on why this all was like a pretty big plot point in the book, because like 3 characters were involved in this initial plan. But there was still quite a few things towards the end of the book that weren't explained. And this is actually the most confused that I've ever felt about an Alice Feeney book. I think that this book had too many character perspectives. Like, even though there was only ended up being like, I think there was 4 or at least 5. It concentrated on the main character first for the first like maybe 40% or so. And then we got like the police apprentice's perspective and also the husband's perspective around the middle of the book. And then towards like 70% or 80% of the book, we finally got the daughter's perspective of the book. And honestly, I wish that was introduced a little bit earlier. But I listened to this at least 5 or 6 times and I still couldn't understand who the husband's wife actually was. Because, like, it could have been 3 potential people. And I was like, so why did this happen? But, like, I think I understand why they initiated this whole thing. But I'm also very confused on who the actual murderer was. I think I might have figured it out. But there was something with, like, another family member of another character that was introduced, like, 95% into the book, that they were questioning why they were somewhere else, and this was never really explained, like, at all. I really wish there was another 10-page epilogue of, like, from at least the daughter's perspective or the other police officer's perspective. That would have given me a lot more. And also there's, like, a lot of family shit that happened in this book that, like, it came together a lot better in John Mars's book, because mostly everything, well, it did have multiple POVs, but I found that it was a lot easier to understand because I felt like John Mars really explained it all and fleshed it out, even though he didn't really do that until, like, he did, like, introduce the main characters past, like, 50% into the book, and I appreciate that he did that, because I felt like that was, like, the perfect timing to get, like, why the fuck everything was taking place the way it did, and why like certain murders happened. And I felt like even though I wasn't sure how John Mars was going to wrap it up, and even though that one also hurt my brain because there was a lot of twists and turns in that one, we knew who the actual, like, killer was by the end of the book. And it wrapped up real nice. But, like, this, it wasn't fleshed out as well as John Mars's book. So I think that was still my favorite out of the two, like, by far. There was just, like, one or two things that happened in John Mars's book that didn't make it quite a 5-star for me, but it was real damn close to being a 5-star, because I still haven't given any of John Mars's books that I've read a 5-star yet. I have a feeling I will at some point. So now I have finished 3 books from both of these authors at this point. And this one, I might say, is my least favorite Alice Feeney book. Even though it was really good and I was really entertained, Beautiful Ugly is, like, my favorite book from her still. And I know that one was so underrated, but I fucking love that book. And also, like, it mostly took place from the main character's POV. There really wasn't many other... I don't remember there's that many POVs introduced at all in that book. And it was so fucking chilling. And this was actually the first Alice Feeney book that I really wasn't that creeped out by. And I was hoping to be creeped out by both of these books. Honestly, the John Mars book gave me more chills than this one. But I wasn't, like, creeped out by either of them. Like, oh my god, I'm not thinking about them, like, for days. The John Mars book made me think, though. But, like, in a good way. This just... I'm just really confused. Like, people like thrillers to be wrapped up in a little bow. They want some type of resolvement. Even though, like, sometimes if a crime is not being resolved, there still needs to be, like, some satisfaction to the ending, and I feel like it was pretty unsatisfying. So I even went on Reddit after to see if someone could explain the ending, and a lot of people commented saying the same thing, that they were just as confused as I was. I'm like, okay, at least this is, like, a universal opinion, and it's not just me, because sometimes I feel a little bit too stupid for thrillers sometimes, and I don't understand. And I'm like, okay, I'm really not the only one. A lot of people are confused by this ending. So I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a lot better. So I'm not going to read a thriller again until Freida's book comes out. So that doesn't come out until Tuesday. But I completely finished this book via audio. I listened to the entire audiobook, and I still have not received my Book of the Month box. So they actually emailed me yesterday saying that it was delayed again and that I'm not getting my box until the 27th to the 29th. Like, that's the window. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, literally 2 weeks after this book came out already. Well, not 2 weeks, but a good week. And also, Dear Debbie's going to be out the 27th. So, and since I already finished this book, because I knew I was going to finish it before the box came. Once I saw that the box didn't come yesterday, I'm like, I'm going to finish this book anyway. So why the fuck do I need the physical copy anymore? And that was literally the only reason why I ordered the box. And then the other book that I ordered is on Kindle Unlimited that I'm going to read, like, right after Dear Debbie, pretty much. So I'm like, what the fuck? But I have, like, a good 3 days to read at least one more book and start another one. So yeah, I'm just, like, really mad. And also, we're going to be completely snowed in tomorrow and Monday. I'm going out with my other friend later, before I'm, like, trapped in my house for 2 days. So yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go see whether or not I can find anything else where this ending's actually explained. Because, again, a lot of people didn't really get it. So that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to give you guys an update because I did start the third book for this video because it did come out today, and that is Dear Debbie by Freida Mcfadden. I really just wanted to start it today. I started the audiobook this afternoon. Actually, I got the audiobook from Libby. So, and I've seen some really high reviews for this book, which is actually crazy because I got a little bit scared thinking that it was just like people hyping up like the arc, because sometimes people do that, especially with Freida's books. But I actually think that this one started off the strongest out of all the books that I read from her last year. Like, I'm already like hoping that this leads to a good twist, because Freida's kind of like about that slow burn build up where it goes nowhere and the twist ends up being like really disappointing. Like, out of the 3 new releases that I read last year by her, because she had 3 books come out last year, which I said was The Crash, The Tenant, and The Intruder. And it's so funny that this one's the first one that doesn't have "the" in the title. I thought The Crash was awful. I thought The Tenant was mid, and I thought The Intruder was better, but still like not that great. I don't think I rated anything that she came out with last year over 3 stars. I might change The Crash to a 1 star because that book was just awful, but I left it at 2 stars, and I think that's what it deserves. But anyway, so this book starts off with this woman named Debbie and her husband Cooper. And Debbie has like this advice article that she writes in the newspaper to, help struggling women, and also like people in general. I don't know if men write to her, but basically she gives them advice. And Cooper is completely devoted to his wife. They still have like the hots for each other. They really love each other, and they have a daughter. I forget the daughter's name though. And the daughter basically got kicked off of the soccer team, and she didn't want to tell her mother. But then there's some things that are happening already. Like, we don't know much about Debbie and Cooper's past. So I think we're hopefully going to go into that in part 2, because that's how usually Freida's books are laid out, is that there's a part 1, 2, and 3. Where it's like, first it's from the main character's POV, but this one's already introducing Cooper's POV, and her neighbor's POV, and her name is Harley, and she is kind of in the same book club as Debbie, and basically the girls in the book club have like more money than Debbie, and like this neighborhood's very like, if you don't have money, then people don't really think that you're worth anything, obviously, because that's how it is in this community. So Debbie is always like super excelling at everything that she does. Like, she does everything perfectly. And Cooper's always like, I don't know how Debbie does it. And Cooper is kind of stuck in the same position in his job. He thinks that he's worth having a promotion. He, hates his boss. His boss is a piece of shit. And Debbie doesn't work. She's a housewife. But she writes this article, and this advice column, and obviously that makes them money. But now something happened to both of them where it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I'm actually really excited for this, that I really hope it's not a letdown. So I'm on, what am I on in the book? I think I'm on chapter 16. Yeah, 16, page 80. So I'm 27% of the way through. And so far, I'm really liking this one. So I'm hoping it's not disappointing. So that's basically what's happening. I don't really want to give anything else away. I haven't read anything about throwbacks to her older books yet. She usually like integrates those in her books, which is so fun, because like the more you've read from her, the more you pick up from previous books. And I think, like I said, I think this might be my 14th or my 15th book by Freida. So that's insane. I think after this, she'll be my most read author besides, I think, Sarah J. Maas. I think she might be number 1 after this. Because Terror Mafia, I read 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. 12 books by Terror Mafia, and I read 13 books by I was about to say Throne of Glass lady, Sarah J. Maas. So I think she might be my most read author after this. I do kind of want to read some of her older books soon. Probably later in the year. Probably not until Halloween again. I want to read Ward D, and I want to read, what's the other one? What's the other one called? The Intruder. No, The Inmate. I want to read those two. After that, I don't think I'm going to read any of her other books. Like, I might work on her backlist, but I've read so many of her books at this point. We'll see. There are some other thriller authors that I would like to read this year over Freida again. Like I said, I just read her new releases last year. I don't know if she's releasing any more books this year because there's nothing else announced. It was only this one that I saw that was being released in January. Maybe she's releasing less, but I find that this one is better written than like all of the books that she came out with last year. It's kind of reminding me of The Tenant a little bit. Also, like, there's these weird, like, poisonings happening in the neighborhood. And also, I feel like some of the neighbors are more involved than we think so far. Because, like, some funny things are going on already. Nothing, like, super thrillery. There's just, like, a bunch of, like, weird coincidences. And Debbie, like, loses her temper. Like, she's not afraid to stand up for herself. But some shit happened that, like, I don't know. I have a feeling like Debbie and Cooper might do something stupid right now. And I'm here for it. So yeah, I will check in with you guys when I get further in. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the third and final book for this video, which was Dear Debbie by Freida Mcfadden. I finished it in a day. I had a feeling I was going to finish it today. I just wanted a book that I could binge in a day while not going anywhere again, because I'm just trying to recover from this cold. And like I said, I'm going to the city tomorrow, so that's enough peopling for me, which is tomorrow. Also, like, I mean, again, I'm not really doing much because I'm unemployed and all of that. I'm still, like I said, getting paid Friday, so thank God. So anyway, I still have a few things planned. So yeah, let's talk about the book. I don't know why I keep on talking about my plans. You guys don't care. You just want to hear about the book. Not that anybody cares. Anyway, this didn't go in the direction I thought it would. And that's usually how Freida's books go for me. For the past, like, 3 or 4 books that she's released. They always have a lot of potential and they always sound like they have a great plot. But the execution is where it struggles. So I'm giving this a 3.5 yet again. I did like this as much as The Intruder, though. I definitely liked both of these more. Well, The Tenant and The Intruder actually had a bit of creepiness to them, but none of her books have creeped me out in quite a while. Like, this had a few, like, 1 or 2 jaw-dropping moments. And I thought, like, because all 3 characters were not very good people. So I thought they were all going to have, like, some kind of overall involvement in why Debbie is so unhinged. But that's not really how it went. So I was really hoping it would have, like, a husband and wife kind of thing happen, because I think the last time that happened in one of Freida's books was Never Lie. This one kind of reminded me of, like, a combo of Never Lie and what's the other one? And she didn't really make any throwbacks to any books, to any of her previous books in this. I was kind of disappointed by that. I was like, I was waiting for it, and I don't think we got anything. So, yeah. But I thought Debbie was probably the best character that Freida's written in the past year, because I really liked the main character a lot. I thought that she was the most fascinating main character that she's written in a long time, the most unhinged. So yeah, I thought it was really well executed with Debbie. I just thought there would be a little bit more of like a multi-layered like conflict going on in the book. And we didn't quite get that. So that's where it fell a little short for me. But overall, it was okay. Still had a good time. Still binge her books in a day usually. So let's rank the books now. I think you all know what my least favorite is. Obviously, it's this one, Dear Debbie by Freida Mcfadden, but it wasn't bad. I still had a good time. I was still entertained. Like I said, I gave it a 3.5. And then number 2, which still is not just the most confusing thriller I've read in a long time, but just the most confusing book that I, have read in a long time, and that is Alice Feeney's My Husband's Wife. I still really liked this. I gave it a 4.25. I really love her writing. There was definitely some creepy moments to this book, and I love how there's a blurb by Freida Mcfadden at the bottom saying, "Non-stop thrills, the best Feeney book yet." But I know it's such an unpopular opinion, but I fucking loved Beautiful Ugly. I will die on that hill. I just thought it was the perfect slow burn thriller to me. Like, the build-up in that book was so worth it, and I still think about that chilling ending in the audiobook. And I now, like, compare most thrillers to that book. So, this one was good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. So, still a really good one, but of course my favorite in this, and he's been my favorite thriller author for the past year or so. I really, really liked his previous release last year, and I really, really liked this one too. This one is just such a multi-layered plot, and like I said, the way that John Mars makes you care about his characters is kind of pretty rare in thrillers, and that is Dead in the Water by John Mars. This was just so fucking good, you guys. I gave this a 4.65. I think I'm going to stand on that. It's not quite a 5-star because there was just like 1 or 2 things in this book that I thought that were a little bit too far-fetched. But overall, this man knows how to write a thriller. And I will continue reading his books because I think they're so fantastically written. And this one hurt my brain, but like I said, it all came together in the end. Like, this one actually had some type of resolve. Not like a good resolve, but like where all the interweaving plot lines and storylines and characters all came together. Unlike the Alice Feeney book. So, yeah. So fucking good. Really, really liked this one a lot. And I can't wait to see more from John Mars. I knew I was going to love it. From the second I saw this teaser on Instagram, I was like, I cannot wait to read this book, and I know it's going to be a banger. So, we read some good books in this video. I didn't hate any of these books. So, yeah. Like I said, I hadn't read thrillers in a while, and I was kind of wanting to read some thrillers lately, so now I read 3, and that's the most that I've read in 1 month in, like, almost a year, because, like I said, I really didn't pick up that many thrillers last year, maybe, like, 10 tops, which is still quite a bit, but I mostly read, I read a shit ton of general fiction last year. That took over the thriller genre for me, was getting into general fiction and literary fiction and historical fiction books. Just are some of my all-time favorite books at this point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at cpw819 and check out my book talk and my Goodreads listed in the description box below. I post all of my reviews on Goodreads and on my TikTok. I post monthly wrap-ups and also post a lot of book talk content. I really don't post too much on book talk right now, but I haven't been for like the past few months. But also, like, there's some shit going on over there too. If you know, you know. But I always post a monthly wrap-up, so At least I'm keeping those up. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what your thoughts are on any of these books, because the one probably that I was mostly anticipating that was going to be a 5-star was My Husband's Wife, and it wasn't for me because I'm just still do not get the ending. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, bye.